Can I call the beautiful lady at the back, Ms Shola Taylor-Pearce?
In every seed is a tree. In other words, the tree is in the seed. But not every seed becomes a tree. Said another way, in every mango seed is the potential for a mango tree. But not every mango seed becomes a mango tree. Ponder that a while, whilst I thank the organizers of this event, Leaders of Godly Character, Inc., for giving me the singular honor of being asked to launch the book, How I Made It. I have read the book. I've read it cover to cover. And it gives me so much delight to do this honor. In every seed is a tree. But not every seed becomes a tree. If I can borrow the parable of the sower, what happens? Some may fall on rocky ground. Some may fall on thorny ground. Some do end up falling on rich soil. And they take deep roots. And in the case of that mango seed, it becomes a mango tree, producing more fruits. A mango tree that provides shade to humans. A mango tree that provides a nesting place for birds. Mango tree that provides a hideout for little creatures like squirrels. How did these 20 seeds become the trees that they became? I think we ended the last question, couldn't have proven to be a better entree for me, and for that I thank Trudy. Asking the question, how can this book, how can we impact the younger generation? Like I said, I've read the book cover to cover. And indeed, that is the vision of the authors, Mr. Modupe Taylor-Pearce and Mr. Brian James. That is the mission of the book, developing leaders in Sierra Leone today. Finding out the secrets that has made each of these 20 people. The authors were very hastily mentioned that this list is no way exhaustive. Many of you here could be featured in this book. Many of you, I see you looking at me right now. I don't want to mention names or else I'll be in trouble. Many of you, if not all of you. Yes. So the book is in no way exhaustive. No. But they had to start somewhere. And today we have heard, we have listened to these seeds who have become trees, share their stories. And what is amazing is the consistency in the stories. The consistency in the secrets. For a seed to become a tree, it does need the right nutrient, the right environment, and it needs time. So we heard it all. Somebody said, you don't do it in a day. I think Auntie Christina, that was one of her last points. It says, even nature shows us, if your child became an adult in a year, Lord, even you would run away. That's a freak. It needs time. It does need the right environment. If you went to Lumley Beach and planted that mango seed, would you have a mango tree in sandy soil? No. It needs the right environment. This book talks about the environment, the conditions, the paths they walked, the values they lived, that has gotten each of them to where they are. It is a book, such a time as this. It is a book that is ever so needful. Thank you, Trudy. Ever so needful in our world today. With constitutional revisions and political confusions, social transitions and ideological reinventions, morals, manipulations, values, vacillations. Are you telling me this book is not necessary? We're talking about economic, depression, currency, devaluation, and to top it all, Ebola infections with no prescriptions. Oh, the book is necessary. The book is needful. The book is timely. We cannot leave here today without, to answer Trudy's question, getting several copies and giving them to our younger people. I'm going to talk to two sets of people here today because, like I said, most of you, if not all of you, could have been featured here in this book. I'm going to talk to investors. Those of you who will invest. I'm not asking you to buy. I'll talk to the buyers later. I'm asking you to invest in this book. And when you invest, it is because you believe that there will be a return. It is because you believe that your return on your capital would be greater than that which you put into it. It's a good investment. It is a good investment. I am going to invest in this book. I am going to invest in it. And I'm going to crave the indulgence of the organizers in saying this. But the reason I invest in it, because I do believe that the principles espoused in this book, if they were adhered to by those in charge, it would be different. You see, politicians care about the next election. Leaders care about what? The next generation. Politicians are looking to get their peace. Leaders look to promote peace. Politicians are looking to hold on to power. Leaders are looking to empower others. Didn't you hear what Sister Yari said? That is what she said. That is what she said. Look, none of them compared notes. You cannot live with, actually, you can't live without a copy of the book. Read it and you'll see what I'm saying. They did not compare notes. How is it that 20 different people from various works of life were interviewed and the same story came across? How? They did not compare notes. It means it's an age-old principle. It is what kept Nelson Mandela. It is what kept Mahatma Gandhi. It is what kept Mother Teresa. Thank you. The same principles. Yes. Politicians look to maintain their place. Leaders are always looking to cede their place and move on, to break new barriers and enter new frontiers, to bring out new ideas and unleash new careers. That is what leaders do. By the way, I owe Bishop Abukuroma a lot. Yes, I owe him a lot. We'll leave it at that, Bishop, right? Thank you. But we certainly wouldn't have gathered here. They wouldn't have given us the permission to gather here if it were not to promote something that is of national interest. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm inviting you. I'm inviting you to invest in this book. To invest in this book. Please, your children, are you going to ensure that seed becomes a tree, then get them to read the book. They probably have not even read a book in the past 3 months anyway. They're not in school. No, they're not in school. They probably have not read, I'm serious, cover to cover, because they're not in school. Do you think a man would give 29 years of his life in principal of a secondary school, 40 plus years of his life teaching in a school, if he didn't have passion and love for children? Please let us make welcome Mr. Lashite. I almost dropped. It's his passion. What do you say, live forever, sir? Sundry never. Faltry never. Grammar school. Regentonian, step up to the plate. Step up to the plate. Your principal is featured here as an example. Do you think it is for lack of other jobs that he could have gotten? No, let me hear that again. Do you really think it's for lack of other jobs that he could have gotten? It's passion. It's focus. It's determination. It's love for country. You cannot live here without this book. If your children are not here, then buy it for your neighbor's children. And when you buy it for them, please, when you go home from work, ask them, what did you read today? This is not a book you just buy and put away in your library. Yes, it is for such a time as this. It's up to you. It's up to me. If as a seed, I will become the mango tree that I'm destined to be. Every one of us is born to lead. That is what the author says. That is exactly what he says. He says, every one of us, he says, some believe that some are born leaders. But let me get that right. Some might argue that they're people born to be leaders. But I believe that everyone is born with varying portions of leadership potential. Every one of us, every last one of us. That is what Auntie Christie said, the dignity of human being. Do you really think God would bring somebody into this earth with nothing? No. But they have to have the right environment. It's that seed. It is that seed. So that beggar by cotton tree has dignity. There really is a purpose for that person's life. That lady whose hands has been amputated, there is a purpose. We're looking for leaders. Politicians control. Leaders serve. That is what this organization is all about, developing leaders of godly character. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to invest $1 million leones into this book. And when I do, I will honor Dr. Olivette Buck. I talked about an era of Ebola infections with no prescriptions. I'm going to honor her and give the book to her family. There's Dr. Sheikh Khan. There's Dr. Modupe Cole. There's Dr. Sar Rogers. There's Dr. Godfrey George. There's Dr. Martin Salia. There's Dr. Moses Kogbo. There's Dr. Dauda Koroma. There's Dr. Eya Konoyaima. There's Dr. Tom Rogers. 10 of them. Isn't it enough? It's up to you and I. It's up to you and I. It's up to you and I. I honor Dr. Olabisi Claudia Skoll today. She's featured in the book. That she's kept her practice running for 50 years, not 5 days. 50 years. That's sustainability. I think it was my brother here who said sustainability is a big word. It is. To sustain, anybody can start. But how many of us run with perseverance? So, deep into your pockets, how many of you will invest in this book? And when you invest in something, it's because you believe there's going to be a return. $1 million leones. $1 million leones, just because you believe the return in your personal life, the return in your children's life, the return in your neighbor's children's lives, the return in this nation will be greater than $1 million. We tend to be modest people and not want to put our hands up, but I encourage you too. Do you think these 20 people featured here who shared their stories, some very personal, by the way, read it. Read it. Professor Thompson shared a very personal pain in this book. Talked about pain. It's an ingredient of success. Read it. Read Mrs. Helen Kiley's story. You think she became proprietors of modern elementary and high school in a day? Do you know what she went through? But here she is today, impacting lives. So I believe that the return will certainly be greater than the $1 million Leones. Let's have some background music. Maybe Papa Ray's song, Ebola. So how many of us will invest? I'm honestly hoping to have at least 25 people invest $1 million in this book. And because you're buying Class A shares, we'll have the books autographed. Yes, Class A shares. We'll have them autographed. And if you wish, you'll take a picture with the authors and with any of the interviewees that you wish. I see a hand up. Thank you. Thank you. Don't be shy. These 20 people have exposed their lives. I'm not saying as Salo, we say, where you yams white, kobaram. No, not koba this one. It's you one. And be counted. Thank you, Madam Aisha Johansson, for braving the trail. We honor you. We honor you. Yes, she thought I was going to ask for $1 million. No, I'm asking for 5 from your husband. Just joking. Thank you. How many? I need to know. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I'm counting, so I need to know how many. I've seen 3 hands. Oh, thank you. Yes. It is for such a time as this. Aren't you proud that this time we're not talking about Kwesi Sapong or Oniche Okode? We're talking about Joe Abbas Bangura. We're talking about our own Sierra Leoneans. We can do it. We can do it. We can change this nation and certainly leave a better country for our children and our grandchildren. We have to. We have to. Yes. You know? Talking about education, a good number of the interviewees did. Dr. Len Gordon Harris talked about it. He said he's always encouraging his fellow physicians to gain more knowledge. Listen, you graduate from medical school 1958. You know, one day go on continue education, the same thing that you they do. No, I mean, it's serious. Yeah. So many of them spoke about it. The need for continuing education. The need to enhance themselves. How many more? Have we gotten 25 names? No? It's $1 million. An investment of $1 million in this book. I'm hoping to get a count soon. Talk about education. As one. Repeat after me. Capital A, small a. And the kid said, capital A, small a. Teacher, capital B, small b. Let me start again. A is for apple. And then they said, A is for apple. B is for boy. And the kid said, B is for boy. And the teacher said, C is for cucumber. And the kid said, it is true. We're laughing. It's happening in our schools. Yes. That is why we need to purchase this book. We have to turn things around. It's not good enough. A teacher said, capital one, small one. Ah. Oh, seems far-fetched. Go to our public schools. Yes. Oh, yes. And if it's going to change, it's up to us. I teach Sunday school. And this past Sunday, my heart was so heavy as my 10-year-old in my class could not read a children's Bible. 10-year-old. She's not a 10-year-old who looks like a 6-year-old. A 10-year-old who looks like a 10-year-old goes to a private school. She could not read a children's Bible. Ladies and gentlemen, it's up to us. It's up to us. It's up to us. Please, let's purchase this book. Do we have 25 names, George? How many do we have? 25. It's worth it. Your return will certainly be greater than $1 million. Your return will certainly be greater than $1 million. But I believe that if we put our hands to the plow together, we will be the better. 12. 2. That's what? 14. How many more? 14. Okay. I'm not going to push this. I thank you all. Now.